Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculetta.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there. And let's see what kind of news we have. It's many small things rather than anything huge.
Well, update 29 was pretty huge. I guess we have one big story and then some smaller story.
All right, let's then head into update 29. And is there anything unexpected in there?
The Codex War is live on the servers. And of course, with that, we get the level 30. So the new level cap is now 30. The 2 new quests, which you can pick up in Meridia. Also, we, of course, have the Legendary Shroud, Legendary Hound of Zoriat, and the Legendary Tempest Spine. Also, the random loot system is now in effect, and we'll talk a little bit about that later on. Also, the Legendary content is now in the game, of course. We've talked about this in the past. That is anything that is level 31 and up is now called Legendary content. And we did get a few little tweaks to some other things. One that you might be particularly interested in, Pineleaf, is the Artificer Rune Arm DCs now will include all sources of the Evocation DC boost. So that might be of interest to you when choosing a Rune Arm, sir.
You mean these things that I always forget to use because I'm too busy firing my my crossbow?
Okay, it may or may not be of interest to you.
Maybe I could someday. Of course, I've usually been feeling like that they've been rather pathetic in the damage they do, so why bother?
Arcane Archer's elemental arrows now will properly reflect the damage type they deal instead of all of them claiming to deal acid damage, which I am interested to check that out as I just so happen to be an Arcane Archer.
All right. Oh, yes, and I'm about to play one, so.
And then, of course, we have a lot of changes to the Epic Destinies. We're not going to go over all of them. Check out the release notes for all the detailed information on that. And the Epic levels now grant +6 universal spell power and a 1% spell point cost reduction. And feats also got some changes. Once again, we're not going to cover all these because there is just too many to cover. Check out the release notes. There is some new general feats, though. I'll just name a couple of them. Wellspring of Power is a minimum level 21 feat, and that activates to gain 150 universal spell power and 20% spell critical damage for 30 seconds. It also grants 110% maximum spell points, and that has a 3-minute cooldown, so that could come in very handy, I am seeing. And the Burst of the Glacial Wraith is a minimum level 24 feat. That is a cone spell, deals 30 d6 cold damage, and freezes the creature. The saving throw is a 20, plus the highest of either your Int, Wisdom, or CH modifiers, plus the evocation bonuses, and it grants 140% maximum spell points. So there is some pretty cool feats that are available starting at level 21, and those do go all the way up to, of course, the new level 30 cap. And that is really about it for the release notes. We do have a link in the show notes for the exact release notes, so you can read them all in their entirety, because there is a lot there.
All right. So I must ask you, what is a Traveler's Terrific Trunk?
Traveler's Terrific Trunk is the new trunk that they came out with during the last update, I want to say. I think that's when it came out. It's kind of like an Autos box in a way. You get 100 Astral Shards, you get the Big B's Guiding Hands, you get 5 Sovereign 1 XP boost potions, you get 5 Major Slayer boost potions, 5 Mysterious Remnant boost potions, you get a rare Unbound Cosmetic Outfit, which is entitled the Traveler's Outfit, and you also get 2,500 Omnispell Dust and 1,000 Omnispell Stones. And those trunks are only available for a limited time. And I do believe they stopped selling them yesterday.
So it's
Yeah, it was only through the launch of Update 29 through December 20th. I just double-checked to make sure that I was correct in saying that.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, it's kind of like the Autos box in that way. It's like a very limited time thing that's in the store, and it pops back every now and again. This is I want to say, second time that it's been in there, because I want to say they first came out when the Devil's Gambit update came out.
So is it a McRib type thing, or?
It's not quite the McRib of DDO, but it's close.
Okay. All right, then let's head on to our named item information. And anything nice in these new named items?
There is some leathers, some new leather armor that I am drooling over picking up. Which, of course, we know I'll never get them because, random number generator and all that. The leathers of the Celestial Archer just have me drooling at the stats that they give. And the leathers of the Celestial Avenger are the two that really caught my eye. In my opinion, at least, I think they are getting better at the named loot for the updates. Up towards the top, it's called the Docent of the Celestial Avenger. Might be something you would be interested in, looking at some of the stats that are on it.
Yeah, but am I allowed to put it on my dog?
Oh, that is a good question. I would say...
Because if I can't... Yeah.
Yes. The pet race is required the Iron Defender, so yes.
Yeah. Well, actually, see, what I was wondering, though, is I assume these things are bound. The question is if it's bound. But I guess if if it were bound, it would be... Oh,
that's a good question.
I could put it on my own
I would think
pet.
You would be able to put it on your own dog, I would think.
Yeah, I would hope so, because otherwise it'd be rather silly.
Well, yeah, it would be silly, yeah. And there's also the Docent of the Celestial Sage as well. And those are both minimum level 29, so get cracking, Pineley. Get cracking.
Mm-hmm. So I have to get my dog up to level 29.
And yourself, so go. Go now.
Right, that's going to happen quickly.
And we also have a link to this thread that, actually it's not a thread, it's a page, I should say. On all of the new loot, it has pictures of it, all the stats and everything for it, and I want those armors, that's all I'm going to say.
Now, I presume that there are absolutely no known issues with this update, right?
Oh, none whatsoever, Pineleaf. We can just skip this section totally. No, I wish that was the case, but no. There is quite a few little issues that creeped up with the release of the new update.
Their known issues page is turning into a tome.
Yes, it is. The Kenneth crafting does not work correctly with the new randomly generated items. So they are suggesting you do not, and I repeat, do not craft with any of the new randomly generated items as of yet. They are looking to fix that in an upcoming patch. Basically, all that's going to happen is you're going to destroy your item and nothing is going to craft out of it. So that's bad. Also, some of the tooltips on some of the newer items are displaying incorrectly due to what they're calling a rounding issue. And that's resulting in one higher value listed in the tooltip that is actually being applied. That is also being corrected in a patch shortly.
I hope that doesn't mean that those +0 items are giving us -1.
Oh, we'll talk about those +0 items in a little bit. So, yeah, and then the speed property is not appearing on randomly generated loot. That is also going to be corrected as well. Some items have incorrect descriptions that do list the +0 for their benefit, which we are going to talk about coming up next, as a matter of fact.
Now, I am hoping that when they're saying corrected in a future update, that some of these items will be corrected in the next hotfix that's coming up.
I would assume so, yes. Cordovan did post today, as a matter of fact, because a player posted about they just got a bunch of +0 skill items out of a poll. And Cordovan posted, we are currently looking into an issue where particularly lower level items that are not high enough level to spawn a benefit of a certain type will spawn the benefit, but just put the bonus as +0. There are other ways this can be manifested as well, including on higher level items, but this is one reason they are seeing it. It looks like it's particularly happening on lower level stuff. And I guess they are looking to correct that. And he also notes, too, that concentration does seem to be particularly prone to this +0, although we are also looking into the possibility that the concentration has a specific display issue where it is just displaying +0, but it's actually giving you the appropriate benefit that it should. Whew. So, yeah. And once again, we're linking to the official known issues thread. You can take a look. There are several more in there as well, but those were the biggies, I think.
All right. Then what's going on with riposte and tendon slice?
The riposte item benefit is causing game performance issues by stacking upon itself too often. This does not provide a stacking benefit, but is instead causing an in-game, and Court of Inputs in parentheses, lag, and game clients performance issues. They are saying, please do not equip any item with a riposte bonus for now, and they are quickly working to resolve the issue. And then along with that, the tendon slice is also causing a problem where this is particularly happening in PvP. I did notice a thread on this today. It sounds like people are trolling and griefing with this in PvP, because getting hit with a tendon slice in PvP is causing your character to get a, quote, permanent, end quote, tendon slice damage effect until you die. They are working to resolve this as well with a hotfix, which is tentatively planned for Tuesday as well. So sounds like if you're listening live to this, if you're going to download it or watch it on YouTube on Wednesday, this hotfix has already happened, but for those in the chat room live right now, sounds like we're getting a hotfix tomorrow to fix a few of these lingering issues that have popped up with the new update. So we'll see what happens.
Now, I'll have to ask you.
Okay.
How large is the PvP community in this game?
I can't answer that because I always forget there even is PvP.
I know, I forget about it also. I know that there are these arenas, I think, in
right,
some of
and
the
that's basically
bars.
what the the PvP is you can go into some of the taverns and there's the arenas that you go in and fight. But as to how big the community of it is, I don't know. To be totally honest with you, today when I saw the tendon slice thread, that was really the first time I've even heard anybody mention PvP in a while. Not saying that, I could be totally wrong, and maybe there's like this big, huge, thriving PvP community that's out there. And if there is, leave a comment on the show and let us know how much you love PvP and it's awesome, and tell us we should come do it. But I have no idea if people PvP, so. And I can't think of one instance where I've actually seen anybody in those pits fighting. So that maybe that's just, Caneth, which is a server that we play in most often. So maybe just Caneth doesn't have a huge PvP community. Maybe like Galanda or something like that has like a bigger one. I don't know.
Well, that's always possible, since I know that in some other games, they have some servers with huge PvP crowds and others that
right, and that's
PvP.
Yeah, that usually is what happens. I think in most MMOs that have PvP, one server tends to be the quote PvP server to play on. So that might very well be the case. So if you do, leave us a comment and let us know where all the hot PvP action is taking place.
All right, then let's head into the DDO Chronicle 171. We're getting close to 175. Actually, we're starting to approach 200.
Yeah, I was going to say, better forget 175. Let's think about 200. That's like crazy to think about that. It's crazy to me that there's even been 171 Chronicles, but the community spotlight, we have the Heroes of the Henfolk. They're hosting a trivia contest, and that's going to be over on Galanda. That is going to happen this Saturday. You can find them at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. That is both Eastern Standard Time in the Anvil Fire Inn for all your prizes during the trivia event. Also, Shoemaker has a new build-orientated show, which is happening over on Twitch and the official DDO channel. It is entitled Shoemaker Cobbles a Blank. What he's doing is every week he is making a new build and trying it out and showing you how he's building it up, and then he's playing with it a little bit so you can see how it plays. So if you're into trying different builds or maybe helping create a different build, hop over and check that show out over on the official DDO Twitch channel.
I see their question for this week is an interesting one. How do monsters celebrate the holidays?
That is a good question. How do monsters celebrate the holidays, Mike?
Well, you don't think you want me to give away my answers that someone else could steal it, post it on the forums, and win turbine points.
I see. Okay. keeping your amazing answer to yourself. Fine. We see how you are. In the fan site news section, DDO Cast had their episode number 409 where they took a look at hit points. Click over to watch or listen to that show. DDO Gamer was writing about the mandatory healer build. Click and check out what Jeff has created this time. You never know what he's going to create when he starts building things. Some of his builds are quite interesting, to say the least. Our unofficial stalker, Edric, which we have not heard from in quite some time, so apparently he's not stalking us anymore.
He must be doing other stuff.
He's apparently getting payback, so click over on his blog to find out who he's paying back and why.
Ooh, is that who he's stalking now?
Could be. That might be. You'll have to read the blog and find out. The long shot looks at some classic D&D art and map making, so click over and read that blog, and that will do it for our Chronicle this week.
So I do wonder, what is this screenshot? The Lord of Blades.
That is, I want to say, I don't know if that's in the Lord of Blades quest or if that's in the one, I think there's a raid where you actually fight the Lord of Blades, but don't quote me on that because I'm probably wrong. But it seems like there's something in a raid and Lord of Blades. But I know there's also a quest where you fight the Lord of Blades as well.
Then what's on sale this week? Anything interesting?
We have the free sample of the week through the 24th, and that is the Lesser Slayer count boost. You can use the coupon code, which, of course, is located in the show notes. 20% off Astral Shards, the Guild Renown Elixirs, 50% off the Guild Charters, and the Guild Airship Beacons. And, of course, we're still doing our special weekend deals throughout December. So through the 24th, you can find 35% off Mirror of Glamorings, 75% off the Greater Tome of Epic Learning, and 50% off the Colossal Augment Bag and character slots. And DDO Central is saying, yes, I actually was correct. Imagine that. That is from the Lord of Blades raid.
Very well, let's head into our site news, where DDO Players News had special number 5, Update 29 chat with the devs.
Yes, I was joined by Bonnie Bew, and we had a great talk with several other people from Turbine. As a matter of fact, we had Community Manager Cordovan, the Executive Producer Severlin, the Commerce Marketing Guru Tolero, System Designer Steelstar, and, as he referred to himself, Dungeon Maker Knockback. And we covered all things Update 29. We also talked about the new store since we had Tolero there. And we even got a little bit of Gnome talk in there as well. It was a great interview. We had a blast doing it. Thanks so much for Bonnie View for joining me. She asked some great questions about Green Steel.
Oh, not about gnomes?
She did ask about gnomes a little bit, but she was all about the Green Steel, that was my whole master plan for having her there in the first place.
Ah.
So my plan worked. So yes, and also thank you to everybody from Turbine for taking some time out. And we actually recorded that the day before the patch came out, so I'm sure they were crazy busy, but they took some time out to talk to us, and we appreciate it. So click over and check that out. That is can be found on our iTunes feed and also in our YouTube feed as well.
Very well then, let's head into our news beyond DDO, where Gen Con 2016 badges and hotel planning information. It's already up?
It is. And of course, we have 226 days, 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 25 seconds till Gen Con 2016, but I'm not counting or anything. Hint, hint, look on our site, there's a countdown clock.
Already.
Yeah, already. Yes, the badge pre-registration date is going to be January 22nd. That's going to start at noon Eastern, and the ever-popular and often stressful and rage-inducing hotel registration will start 2 days later, and that is going to be Sunday, January 24th.
And I take it that every hotel in Indianapolis is going to be booked by the 25th?
It'll be booked on the 24th.
Oh, okay.
And that hotel registration, of course, that's for the official Gen Con housing block. And last year, we kind of talked about it a little bit. They had all sorts of issues with that. But they're once again going to use kind of that same system, but they're tweaking it a little bit due to some of the problems that they had last year. So we'll see what happens. And we do have some pricing information as well. The 4-day Gen Con badge, if you pre-register, it is $90. If you pick it up at the day of the show and you register there, it's $120. You can also get your single-day badges, which, of course, would be for either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. The pre-registration price is $55. On-site is $75. The Family Fun Day Sunday badge price is $45 during the pre-reg, and on the day of the show, it does not say. So apparently you cannot buy those. You have to pre-reg for those. Well, I'll tell my friend. I know he has done those before. I don't know if he's picked them up at the show. He usually pre-reg for them. But anyway, also trade day for those that are in the business. $120 pre-registration, $155 during the show, and those are while supplies last. And they do state you must have a valid trade credential to attend on the trade day badge. And pre-registration will close on June 19th. So you have plenty of time to pre-register and get the cheaper ticket prices. So if you end up having to pay the higher price at the day of the show, you have no one to blame but yourself.
Then let's head into the Cthulhu storytelling card game coming soon.
Yes, would you play a card game where you could call up the Great Cthulhu? Personally, I think it sounds awesome. I mean,
I think that there's already Cthulhu Flux and Cthulhu Munchkin.
Well, see, Logic, Pineleaf. Don't use Logic. Cubicle Sub and Entertainment, of course, is going to publish this brand new storytelling card game. So I can't think of any other storytelling game that revolves around Cthulhu, card-based. I know there's a Cthulhu RPG that is very story-driven, but can you think of any card-type games that are story-driven for Cthulhu?
I have to admit, I haven't heard too many of those.
In the Cthulhu Tales, which is what it's called, the players are going to be the involuntary guests of an early 20th century sanatorium. You're trying to escape by proving to the staff that you aren't actually insane. And this is accomplished through the use of storytelling cards, which feature the nightmarish creatures of the Cthulhu mythos and the eerie adventures common to Lovecraft's work. But it's more than just cooperative storytelling, as game mechanics, the symbols on the cards, and the use of dice will also influence the story and control your ability to you and the other players to intervene, and you can also help or hinder your fellow players as well.
Oh, fun.
So there is that. And they're looking at having 115 large format cards, a game board, tokens, and a custom 12-sided Cthulhu die. As well, manufacturer's retail price is $29.99. We do not have a street date or anything for it yet, but they said it should be in stores sometimes in early July. I will keep tabs on it, and as soon as it's available for pre-order on Amazon or anywhere else, we'll be sure to let you know.
Then let's head into the other thing on the tabletop, Tyrants of the Underdark. New board game coming soon, and is this a DDO adventure board game or something else?
It is a part of the adventure system. You are correct. This time it is being made by Gale Force 9. They are teaming up with Wizards of the Coast to bring a new adventure system board game. It's designed by Peter Lee and Rodney Thompson. Those two names alone right there, you should be throwing money at them and say, give me your game, I want to buy it. This game will pit players against each other in a battle to win territory in the Underdark. And this uses a mashup of deck building and board control mechanics.
Then it doesn't sound like an adventure system game.
Well, that's what's weird. They're calling it part of the adventure system, but it's a different take on the adventure.
Sure, it's a completely different game mechanic, a different style, because
they're saying it's part of the adventure system, though. But I think why they're doing that is just so it fits in, and people know it's a D&D board game, because people, I think, at this point are used to the adventure games being the D&D board games.
All right, but yeah, because this looks more like a primary competitive game as opposed to adventure games, which are mainly cooperative.
It's players will take the role as a head of a drow house and recruit monsters, cultists, and demons to help them control locations, including Menzo Banzarine and Blinding Stone. Players also use power and influence as resources, and they attempt to infiltrate enemy strongholds and assassinate enemy troops as they vie for control of the various areas of the Underdark. It's a 2 to 4 player base game, plays in about an hour. Manufacturer's suggested retail is $69.99. Once again, we don't have any street date or anything for it, but I'm going to be keeping tabs on this because I am going to pick this up because this sounds amazing. And
Then let's get into...
Well, before we do that, Nathan Stewart, the brand director for Dungeons & Dragons, I think he sums it up perfectly. He says, it's fun to be the bad guy sometimes. And Tyrants of the Underdarks lets you participate in the drow politics without getting physically stabbed in the back.
Are you sure?
So there you go. It's fun to be the bad guy. Remember that.
Let's head into our week at DDO, where fortunately we were not playing the bad guy.
No, we weren't. We were the good guys. Because, and that's what I should have asked the devs when I had them on. Why can't we play an evil race in DDO? Why can't we be evil?
Oh, no. You play a drow all the time.
Well, of course. But see, I'm not evil, though, because I can't be chaotic evil, which I want to be. I want my warlock to be chaotic evil, but I can't. Why can't we be chaotic evil? I'm not evil, I'm just misunderstood.
You're just misunderstood. So you're one of the people that are helping to formulate the Temple of Elemental Misunderstood.
Hey, there you go. And DDO Central is pointing out that in Eberron, drows are not evil, and that is correct.
Well, yes, I have come to that conclusion pretty much based on the ability to include them in the game at all.
Right. There's that little gray area.
And especially since I think when we were in the Forgotten Realms, I think there were, during the Demon Web pit, I think I heard someone make mention of not real drow or something like that.
Yes, they called me not a real drow. I was insulted by that.
Yes.
So I had to shoot them in the face with an arrow and say, evil drow. Ha! I will show you. But besides shooting evil drows in the face with my arrow, my rogue, which I tend to stab people in the back because I'm a rogue, that's what I do, still sitting at level 21, I thought, you know what? The new quests are out. I'm going to go check them out because I won't spoil it. Still, I'm sure everybody knows it. Well, I know Pineleaf doesn't know at this point, but everybody else probably has played this quest. So you know in the To Curse the Sky quest who the main boss is. So I had to go check this one out at least because of who the main boss was. So, I'm all cocky. I'm like, I'm level 21. On normal, it's level 15. And the Devil's Gambit quest I do on hard, which are level 17. So I'm like, I'll do it at hard. So I step in, talk to the first Archon, no problem. Kill the first wave of enemies, no problem. I'm like, okay, I got it. This is
all good.
Not a problem at all. And then the trumpets start. So I now call this quest the, oh my god, make the trumpet stop sounding quest. Because once you run this quest, you know what I'm talking about, which there is a fix incoming for this as well. But also, if you want to stop that until they get the fix in-game, you can adjust your sound effects volume in your settings, and that will make the trumpets stop, because, oh my god, those trumpets are annoying. But anyway, so I go on. I get into the main part of the quest. I'm kind of being vague here because Pineleaf hasn't done it yet, so I don't want to spoil too much. And I come to my big first pull of enemies, so I sneak up and stab one in the back, and luckily I roll I think like an 18 or a 19, so I pretty much killed him instantly with my assassinate, and of course that made me really cocky. And then I remembered, oh my god, there's 5 of his friends with him. And I was instantly pounded into the ground. I died in like 3 hits. So I'm thinking, what the heck just happened? So I go back in. Again, I'm like, I can do this on hard because I run the Devil's Gambit on hard. Again, get to that group of enemies, get pounded into the ground again. So either something totally happened to my rogue between the Devil's Gambit update, which was the last update, and this update, they have really ramped up these enemies in this quest, but I cannot do this quest on hard. And I'm even above level of the quest. How sad is that? I tried everything I could think of. I tried to sneak. I tried to pull a few at a time with my bow and then kill them, and that worked for a while, but then no. So it was just craziness. So I went in on normal, which was only level 15, so I wasn't getting any experience, but to be honest, I wasn't in it for the experience on this. I just wanted to get to the end and see the boss and finish the quest, which I did on normal. I didn't have any problems whatsoever. So I need to figure out, why can't I run these new quests on hard? Because to my knowledge, none of my things changed. My enhancements are all the same. My gear is still the same. So apparently the difficulty is just ramped way up in these quests. But I like the design of the quest. I love the quest. Haven't checked the other one out yet. I think Pineleaf and I are going to run these on our characters, which are, we're 18 now. So we're a little over level, but we're close enough to the level range. I'll feel okay about going in on normal, because we usually run on normal anyway. So after that dying fiasco, I wanted to feel better about myself. So I jumped over to Evening Star, and I started doing the Menace of the Underdark Darkening quest chain, and I did the Impossible Demands quest. That was an interesting quest, other than the stupid, which of course now, the spell words. Those spell words in there, the spell words are still bugged, Turbine. I still am having problems saying it's blocked. You can't disarm it. It's blocked. And I have to try to find the exact area to stand where I can disarm it. But other than the stupid spell words in that quest that I couldn't disable half the time because it said it was blocked when I'm standing right in front of it, that was a fun quest. I liked it. So I'm going to do the other in that quest chain. And check that out. And I was, as a matter of fact, shooting lots of drow in the face in that quest. Well, actually, I wasn't shooting them. I was stabbing them because I was on my rogue. And there's just something so satisfying about assassinating on my drow. I don't know why. It's like, ooh, look, a drow. Sneak, stab, you're dead. I don't know. I think I need therapy or something, maybe. And then as I was doing that quest, of course, you have to go out into the King's Forest to do that. So I was therefore doing the Slayers and random encounters. And that was the first time I've been out in the King's Forest, believe it or not. And oh my gosh, is that place huge. And I like how they do the random encounters out there. It's not like other Explorer areas where there is a set number of them. They are just totally random. You're running around, just doing your Slayers, or running to one of the other quests, and you just trip a random encounter. So it really gave me a tabletop feel, because that is something that would happen in a tabletop. But wow, is the King's Forest huge. Holy cow, I don't even have probably a quarter of that map uncovered yet. And I spent a lot of time just running around exploring out there. And then the only other thing on Canis that I did with you, and we'll let you talk about that. But over on Arganescent, my Wolflock, I was in the Giant Hole doing Slayers and the Explorers, and I reached level 18, which was my goal because I needed to be 18 for the Damsels thing, which is coming up next week, as a matter of fact, where we're going to do the Hound of Zoriat raid. So I am now level 18 where I needed to be. And then also on Argo, I have a Warlock, which is level 4. And I noticed I haven't done any of the Coin Lords quest at all. So I'm doing those because I want more bags. So I started running the Sharon Syndicate. I'm doing that on hard. I just did Stand Your Ground and Dirty Laundry. No major problems with those quests at all. Because, I'm a Warlock. I just shoot fireballs and kill things. Then my Rogue on Argo reached level 8. I was running House Kandaric quest with Bonnie Bew. And of course, Bonnie makes me run stuff on Elite because she's evil to me that way. We did the Chamber of Insanity, Forgotten Caverns, and the Lair of Summoning. No major problems in that. Other than in the Lair of Summoning, I fumbled big time on one of the traps. I was trying to disarm it, and I rolled a 1. So yeah, go me. And of course, the trap blew up, and that killed me instantly when the trap blew up. And then, so that was a fun time, because there was also 3 champions in there as well. So Bonnie was running around like a crazy woman, killing those, and then she had to pick my stone up, and take me to Resme, so that was the only problem with that. Then we went over to Three Barrel Cove, ran Prove Your Worth in the Legend of Two-Toed Tobias, also on Elite, because, once again, you're with Bonnie View, that's just what you do, you run stuff on Elite. And in Prove Your Worth, the same thing happened to me as well. I rolled a 1 on a trap disarm, and it blew up and killed me. So I need to learn not to roll runs on my trap disarm. That is a lesson that I learned by running.
It's not to
those
roll a 1.
quests. Yeah, that's right. Ones are bad when you're disarming a trap. And that is all I did, other than, like I said, what I did with you. So we'll let you talk about that.
Then I will start with the level 18 Artificer, where we did In the Veil of Twilight with a little help of Bonnie Bew, where we ran the Coalescence Chamber.
And that was your first time in the Cold Chamber as well, was it not, Pineleaf?
Yes, that was my first time in the Cold Chamber.
And what is your opinion of that quest? Silence says it all, folks.
Yeah, it's... I'm trying to remember it now. I think my memory has decided...
You're just blocking it out of your mind totally?
Blocking it out of my mind. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what we did. If I remember correctly, there was a lot of climbing and jumping is what I remember.
There you go. Now you're getting it.
Now I know why I blocked it from my mind.
And I think DDO Central sums it up perfectly. He says, Cold Chamber is a rite of passage.
A rite of passage or a wrong of passage?
He also says one needs Mario Brothers-esque jumping skills to pull that one off.
Yes.
Which, ergo, why Pineleaf is forgetting it.
Hee.
But what's so amazing about this is we have video documentation of this because we were live streaming this. You can check out the video over on my YouTube page, which I've linked in the show notes. And I decided we're going to live stream at various times. I'm not putting up a schedule or anything for when I live stream or when Pineleaf and I are running stuff in live stream. I'm just going to do it random because it's kind of fun, and I want to thank everybody that showed up. We had a ton of people, and Bonnie was also live streaming at the time too, and we had a ton of people that showed up in both of our Twitch streams, so that was just amazing. It was a fun time, so if you want to see Pineleaf running his first Cold Chamber and instantly wiping it from his memory, you can check out the video on YouTube and watch all the insanity that took place.
Insanity, yes, Cthulhu level insanity, if I recall correctly.
I was kind of disappointed, though, because you only fell like 1 or 2 times. I was thinking you were going to keep falling, because normally when we're playing and there is like jumps to that level, like as DDO Central says, the Mario-esque level of jumping that is involved, you usually have a very harder time with it, and just some of your comments that you make are like priceless. But you only fell like twice. I was kind of disappointed.
You know what's really amazing in the whole thing is I don't think I had to quaff any jump potions during that.
I don't think you did. I think maybe...
I was getting close, I think.
Yeah,
once.
but so yeah. So Pineleaf actually survived Cold Chamber.
Let's then head into my level 3 Rogue 1/Warlock 1/Druid 1, which is a permadeath character who I am currently in the harbor with, and I was pretty tight for time for this week, so I just ran a bunch of random harbor quests in order to get the feel of the characters, and that means next week I'll start doing things like the Waterworks and Jarn Syndicate and stuff like that. So I'm hoping to do a few quests which I didn't keep on doing on the old Permadeath series, since this is off of that series, so therefore I can go out of that typical set of quests that I kept on doing before.
Which I still say, God bless you for trying this, because Rogue, Warlock, and Druid, that is quite the combo you got going on there, sir.
Well, actually what I should do is go into the marketplace and start doing some of those marketplace quests that I haven't done in a long time, those level 3 marketplace quests. That's an idea. All right, so yeah. Anyway, what I did was as I said, things like Dirk's Got a Secret, Butcher's Path, Closed Situations, Pillar's Debt, Harbor Guard, Baldry's Interest, and all those Baldry's Interest things. And at the last one in Retrieve the Stolen Goods, I got what I thought was a really nice weapon, at least for a random weapon, a +2 Smoldering Short Sword of Deception.
And that was, I'm assuming, after update 29 hit, so that was part of
Yeah.
the random loot?
Yeah, that was random.
Okay.
So therefore, having a sword that's a +2 sword, doing 1 to 6 fire damage. I can't remember off the top of my head what the deception. Oh, that's right. The deception one has a chance of putting a bluff onto the character, so therefore a chance that I might be able to backstab somebody.
That is a good pull for you, being, well, I guess it depends how much you put in your rogue levels too.
Well, yes.
So that begs the question, which out of your 3 classes that you have, which one are you going to concentrate more on? Are you going to like splash equally, or have you thought that far ahead on this?
I think the plan was to. I think the charter for this particular character was to splash evenly.
I couldn't remember what you were doing. I'm still trying to wrap my head around a rogue warlock druid. It's very bizarre. Only you, Pinely. Only you.
Well, we'll have to see. Actually, when I do get my second level of druid, I think that's when I could start to turn into wolf form. Then maybe I could start going wolf, trying to tear things out with my claws while having my aura out, doing extra damage from that. And occasionally maybe getting the bluff on there that's going to allow me to do extra damage.
You just want to be a Wolflock. That's all it is.
Wolflock. I think that's what gave me the idea for this whole thing.
Oh, was it? I love my Wolflock. I really do. It's so much fun.
But anyway, I want to see how far I can get with this character before the start of the year, because I have a new character that I'm planning to do for 2016 for my... See if I can get a character up to level 20 solo character. So then it's not going to be a permanent death character or anything like that. It's going to be... Let's see how long it takes me to get to 20 character.
Bonnie Bew in the chat, it says, Drac, are you causing Wolflock envy? That's amazing.
If you would like to help DDO players, you can go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you will find rewards, including a mention on DDO Players News, or even be able to be a guest host with us. And we have a featured comment this week from Kirkos, who left a comment on DDO Players News Special Number 5, Update 29, Chat with the Devs. And this is an interesting one. I would like to see Misery's Peak made into a legendary raid. Have to split the party, kite the dragon, and defeat the other dominated beasties, while other half fights with the Mind Sunder. Meet together at the end to defeat the Mind Flayer and Dragon. A bonus chest for defeating the dragon before the Mind Flayer.
And you know, in a weird way, that sounds awesome. I despise Misery's Peak to no end, but that sounds awesome. I would run this legendary
Why do you
raid.
despise Misery's Peak?
It's too long. It's too boring. I don't know. And I think my first couple of characters, I was like you, and I did it every time. And then it's just, no, I'm never running that again, ever. Ever. Nothing bad against whoever made the. I mean, it's fun the first time you do it. It's great, but because it teaches you game mechanics, which kind of what the whole Korthos Island is there to do. Because the warehouse teaches you how to do puzzles. Some of them, teach you how to do traps. Misery's Peak kind of teaches you, maybe gives you a little idea what a raid would be like. I guess you can say in a weird way. Kind of has that feel to it. It's kind of like a epic type, raid thing.
Yeah,
but
I know what Kirkos really wants to do. He wants to go and act like our favorite cleric and go charge.
And Bonnie Bew says she totally died super hard in Misery's Peak on her first character that she ever rolled. And I agree. I think, as a matter of fact, on my very first character that I don't even have anymore, I don't think, because I think, and now that I'm thinking about it, that may be why I don't like Misery's Peak, because I think it was in there that I died. And I think it traumatized me to no end.
Traumatized you for dying
I
in
think
Misery's
that's what
Peak?
I think that's what it was, because it was like this horrible, horrible death that was, and I can't even remember what happened, but it was like, that was the first time I died on that character, and I'm like, and I love that character. It was like my first rogue ever, and that's what it is. I was traumatized by Misery's Peak. That's what it was. But I do like the idea of Legendary Raid. That would be awesome. Especially to have to fight the Mind Flayer and the Dragon at the same time. That would be amazing. But of course, Bonnie in the chat is saying the Legendary Lasers in the Twilight Forge Raid would be more amazing. And I agree. Lasers, we all need them.
If you would like to email us, you could send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us at Twitter, The Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculetta @Draculetta_72, and Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Loto Players News, and every other Saturday after Loto Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. Join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And join us next week for your year-end review show, where we will have special guests Bonnie Bew plus Sabjade and Lessa from the Damsels.
Oh my God, what am I thinking?
Yeah, I have no idea. Well, that is it for tonight, and this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.